Welcome back to the channel, where we break down all things Pittsburgh Steelers. As our team fights to stay at the top of the AFC North, the journey to greatness is anything but smooth. Whether it's Joey Porter Jr.'s growing pains or Russell Wilson's resurgence, one thing's for sure, this team is pushing hard to perfect their game. But before we get into today's hot topics, make sure to smash that like button to show your support for the black and gold. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the latest Steelers updates. All right, let's dive into it. First up, let's talk about cornerback Joey Porter Jr., who was recently fined $11,807 by the NFL for unnecessary roughness during the Steelers' Week 13 matchup against the Cleveland Browns. The penalty stemmed from Porter shoving Browns wide receiver Michael Woods in the face mask during a heated third-quarter exchange. While the play cost the Steelers a 15-yard penalty, Porter wasn't shy about how he felt after the game. "I already don't like those guys, and they don't like us. At the end of the day, they lost. We won. I'm happy." Love him or hate him, you can't deny that Porter plays with passion, and that's something Steelers fans can appreciate. While the fine grabbed headlines, Porter's performance on the field deserves attention too. He's had an up-and-down season, with a high volume of penalties but some standout moments in coverage. In Week 13, Porter managed to contain Browns wideout Jerry Jeudy, limiting him to 64 yards. Of course, there was a breakdown on a 35-yard touchdown, but outside of that, Jeudy caught just 4 passes for 29 yards. Porter admitted he's still working on cleaning up his game. "I still feel confident in how I'm playing. I watched the tape. There aren't guys really beating me that's getting a lot of separation. It's just calls I need to work on myself and know I need to get better." Penalties have been an issue, with Porter racking up 6 in Week 13 alone, most for pass interference or holding. But he's facing it head-on, saying, "At the end of the day, I'm trying to be great. I know to do that, I've got to clean up the stuff I've been doing. I face it head-on and keep working." Steelers fans, what do you think? Is Porter's aggressive style worth the occasional penalty, or does he need to dial it back? Let us know in the comments. Now let's switch gears and talk about Russell Wilson, who's quickly proving to be one of the best off-season acquisitions in recent Steelers history. Through 7 starts, Wilson has led the Steelers to a 10-3 record, putting us in first place in the AFC North. Not only is he solving the quarterback struggles that have plagued Pittsburgh in recent years, but he's also 1 win away from clinching a playoff berth. And it's not just about the wins. Wilson's leadership and efficiency have completely revitalized the Steelers' offense. With his stellar performance this season, the conversation has shifted to Wilson's future in Pittsburgh. According to Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox, the Steelers could lock Wilson into a 3-year, $135 million extension with $75 million guaranteed. Here's what that deal could mean: $45 million per year, tied for 12th among NFL quarterbacks. Securing a proven leader without breaking the bank compared to younger QBs like Brock Purdy and Sam Darnold, whose contracts could raise market prices. But there's one big question: Wilson's age. He'll turn 37 next November, so the Steelers would need to structure the contract carefully, possibly including an out after the second year. Wilson's performance down the stretch will be crucial, especially as the Steelers face a tough slate of games to close the season. His chemistry with the receiving corps, especially with Van Jefferson stepping up in George Pickens' absence, has been impressive. This is the kind of leadership and playmaking the Steelers have needed to make a deep playoff run. Between Porter's fiery play and Wilson's resurgence, the Steelers are showing they're a team built for both the present and the future. But challenges remain. Porter needs to strike a balance between aggression and discipline. The team must decide whether to invest heavily in Wilson as their long-term QB. Steelers fans, we all know how crucial George Pickens is to our offense. As the team's #1 wide receiver, he's been the go-to playmaker in what has been a challenging season for Pittsburgh's passing game. But concerns about the Steelers' receiving corps grew even larger when Pickens appeared on the injury report last week with a grade 2 hamstring strain. The injury ruled him out for Week 14 against the Cleveland Browns, a game where the Steelers' offense struggled to find rhythm without their star wideout. And now, as we face off against the Philadelphia Eagles in Week 15, Pickens has been officially ruled out for a second straight game. Here's what we know so far. Reports suggest that Pickens' recovery timeline is uncertain, leaving fans and the team anxiously awaiting updates. According to Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, it's possible we won't see Pickens return until the regular season finale against the Cincinnati Bengals. "I'm not too optimistic about the Eagles, Ravens, or Chiefs," Fittipaldo said during an interview on 93.7 The Fan. "But I do think there's a chance for that finale against the Bengals. That's a pretty cautious outlook, but there is a glimmer of hope." ESPN's Jeremy Fowler provided a slightly more optimistic take, reporting on Saturday that the Steelers are hopeful Pickens could return for Week 16 against the Baltimore Ravens. "George Pickens is out for the second straight week," Fowler said on SportsCenter. "They're hopeful, though, for next week against the Ravens." It's clear that the team is taking a day-by-day approach with Pickens, balancing the urgency of getting him back with the need to avoid further aggravating his injury. Pickens' absence couldn't come at a worse time. As we head into the final stretch of the regular season, every game carries playoff implications. Without Pickens, the Steelers are missing a big play threat. Pickens' ability to stretch the field has been critical, especially in close games. Clutch factor. Whether it's a third down conversion or a red zone target, Pickens has delivered when the team needs him most. Defensive attention. Even when he isn't getting the ball, defenses have to account for Pickens, opening up opportunities for other players. Can the Steelers' offense step up without him? In Pickens' absence, the pressure falls on other players to step up. Let's take a look at who needs to shine. Deontay Johnson. Johnson has been reliable in short and intermediate routes, but he'll need to take on a larger role as the primary receiving option. Van Jefferson. Acquired to bolster the receiving corps, Jefferson has shown flashes of potential. This is his chance to make an impact. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. The running backs have carried much of the offensive load this season. Their ability to control the ground game will be even more important without Pickens. Russell Wilson. The veteran quarterback has been a stabilizing force, but he'll need to lean on his experience and leadership to guide this offense through a tough stretch. The road ahead. The Steelers are in the thick of the playoff race, and the next few weeks will define the season. Here's what the schedule looks like. Week 15 versus Philadelphia Eagles, a tough matchup against one of the best teams in the league. Week 16 versus Baltimore Ravens, a divisional showdown with major playoff implications. Week 17 versus Kansas City Chiefs, another heavyweight battle against an AFC powerhouse. Week 18 versus Cincinnati Bengals, potentially a must-win game to secure a playoff spot. If Pickens can return for the Ravens game, it would be a massive boost. But even if he's sidelined until the finale, the Steelers need to find a way to win without him. Despite the challenges, this team has shown incredible resilience all season long. With a 10-3 record, the Steelers are still in first place in the AFC North. And let's not forget, the defense has been lights out, keeping us in games when the offense has struggled. T.J. Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Cam Hayward continue to lead one of the league's most dominant units, and that gives the Steelers a fighting chance every week. We've covered a lot today, so now it's your turn to sound off. 1. Is Joey Porter Jr.'s aggressive play style a strength or a liability? 2. Should the Steelers give Russell Wilson a big extension, or should they consider younger options? 3. How far do you think this team can go in the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We love hearing from you. Before you head out, don't forget to hit that like button to show your love for the black and gold. And if you're not already part of the family, subscribe to the channel for more exclusive Steelers content. Let's keep the conversation going, Steelers Nation. See you next time, and as always, here we go, Steelers.